Okay, we are live on YouTube. Now let's go ahead and get everything going live on Facebook. Hope you guys can hear me okay. So three, two, one. Okay, Facebook. I got Facebook in front of me. And of course I got YouTube to the left. YouTube, no, the phone is always better clarity. I'm sure you guys can see a lot better on here than you can seeing it on Facebook. So either way, um, it's kind of crazy because I'm so used to talking in front of the camera. So let's go and jump straight into it. So for those who don't know, when I actually started, the company back in 2012. Hey, what's going on? You guys are chiming in. Yeah. You know what? Before I go straight into the story, I know you guys are so used to that. So what's going on, guys? Go ahead and chime in where you guys are from. We know some of you guys are local here in Illinois. Some of you all are in different states. California always outdoes everybody. So just so you guys know, I look at and YouTube analytics and things of that sort. Man, they snapping. So we're gonna see who's here tonight. So we got okay, Brooklyn's in the house. I know BK one and only. She's from Brooklyn, I believe. Florida, New York, Philly. Okay, okay. All right. Man, New York showing out today. All right, you guys been ready for this. And it's a little bit late too. It's like 10:11 over there, man. So um, listen, this will be a random question. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it. I can't. I gotta. It's funny. I talked to a guy earlier, and he's in Florida. It's hate to get you out here to come speak. I said, well, it depends. We're trying to put some things like that together. I can't be spoiling you guys though. That's the thing. But New York is on the list. Florida is on the list. If I came out to New York, who would show up? How about that? And okay, cool. Tony from Boston, who knows what's going on, man? And some people saying it's kind of breaking up a little bit. Let's see here. Let's see. All right, should be going pretty good. So there you go. Jordan said they'll show up, right? Okay, cool. All right, so let's see what else. I want to make sure everyone can see it. All right, so right, Judy says she'll come through. So sounds good. All right, so we're gonna give everyone a couple more minutes to jump right in. What's going on, Darren from Chicago? Where you guys chiming in from? Where you guys at? Come on, it's like 27 of you guys on here. Somebody's not commenting. Okay, so BK one and only says she'll be in the house. So we got some special stuff coming up. That'll be at the beginning of the year. So I can't be spoiling you guys with this stuff. So we got to do some crazy stuff though, man. It's gonna be pretty fun. So all right, so let's go ahead and jump straight into it. I know you guys are gonna be getting okay, Maryland's in the house, that's one. And someone says I don't know. You don't know where you at? So all right, so let's jump straight into it. For those who don't know, actually how the company got started is playing fine on Facebook. That's good. Okay, I hope YouTube's not going crazy because y'all be complaining on YouTube, boy. So I'm just playing. So, but for those who don't know, I started the company back in 2012. At the time, I was working full time. What's going on, Adrian? And I was work. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. All right, some people have been complaining because you guys know me. I'll start in story mode, but then I'm being nice. I'm saying hey to everybody. So this is my part where I say hey everybody. Then I'll check back in with you guys a little bit later because people be like, man, you always just stop talking and then saying hey to everybody. Excuse me for being nice. So, but for those who don't know, when we started the company in 2012, I used to work at Nissan. I was full time at Nissan. I was a salesperson. And when I was a salesperson there, I got really tired of seeing people get denied. You guys know that part of the story, but a lot of people don't know how I personally improved my own credit score. So I'm gonna give you guys some tips on how I improved my own credit score. And so now, he said now it's freezing up here and there. So don't worry. Hope the connection is pretty good. You guys know how stuff is. I mean, it looks good to me. It's going smooth to me. So don't worry. I'll be sure to download it and upload it so you guys can get a smooth playback, a smooth replay. Okay. And for those who watch the replay, please just go ahead and type in replay in the comments. All right. Look at that. All the way from Mississippi. Look at that. So there you go. Took a break from building force to join in. That's what I'm talking about. So, but I did that. And how I was able to, build my score. Actually, it was much more than 103 points. I think that's when we started tracking it because we couldn't believe how fast the score was going up. And this was actually in 11 months or less. Okay. And that's the thing. And, it really all depends on how you're building your score. Okay. I know that there's so much advice out there, But guys, I'm telling you, like, you don't need all these accounts to build your credit score. You don't need all these trade lines to build your credit score. You can do it, but you don't need it. You don't need to throw all this money, at your credit score trying to accelerate something that is going to happen. But you have to do something that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just going to show you, share with you all what worked for me. All right, so when I was rebuilding my credit, I'm gonna let you guys know where I started from. There was an old eviction that was on there. Young people stuff, right? Can I at least say that? Can I say young people stuff? And somebody said buy a car. There you go. And but there was an old eviction that was on there. There was also default student loans that were on there. And because, of course, for those who don't know, of course, I started at school at NIU. And of course, NIU may sound familiar because that's what they had. It was one of the college campuses that they had a school shooting at. And I think it was 2008 or 2009. So you can look that up at Northern Illinois University. So I remember being down a few buildings down when it was just chaos. So, of course, thank God I'm here. So, but of course, was in college. I don't want to say dropped out. I say I left because I left on good terms, and here I am. So, but had the student loan debt, had the eviction, had the repossession, had the charged off credit cards. You name it, I had it. I mean, in every area, my credit score was like I think it was like a high four or a low, high four or a low five. And I said, okay, what do I need to start doing? So at that time, we're talking, and of course, this came, until a little bit later, right? Young guy in debt, and I paid more attention to it, when I was working at Nissan because I saw so many different types of credit scores and things of that sort. And when I started to, pay more attention to it, I said, okay, let me look at my own personal situation. Let me look at my score. Let me see where I can go from here. And what I did was I said, okay, looks like everybody's getting a secured credit card, right? And at the time, Capital One had a secured credit card, which they still do today. But at the time, they didn't take your credit card, like what it is now, go from, a secured card into an unsecured. It didn't work like that. When you had that, that secured card, that was it. Okay. And I qualified for the $50 deposit to get that credit card. Got approved for it, of course, with the $50, right? Got that, and then sure enough, started using it right away. Now, what does that mean? A lot of times people, they're not using the credit card right, okay? I noticed that. A lot of people are not, and that's the thing. You said it great. I found out as you get older, a lot, you start growing up, credit does matter. That's the thing. And I thought that, I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know why I wasn't paying, bills on time. So I don't know why. It's just, when you're young, you just don't really care, and that's the thing. And then you start getting older, and then you start realizing that these mistakes that you made when you were younger is keeping you from actually accelerating, in the future. So, for example, when you're going into, let's say, transition, let's say trying to get into an apartment or something like that, it's difficult because your credit, it gets difficult, and you're like, man, I can't do this. Or the car breaks down. Now you're older, right? Now you may have some kids. You may have, a slightly better paying job, things of that sort. And, and that's when it's like, okay, I really need to buckle down on this, which is so great because I wish I could watch me, back in that time frame. And I had to learn the hard way. And the hard way is trial and error. And that's what I honestly want to make sure, what you guys are doing with, your credit cards. I want you guys to avoid some of the mistakes. Avoid, throwing the jello on the wall, right? It's a part of growing up, for sure. And I want to make that journey a little bit easier. So, of course, for those who don't know, we do a free credit report evaluation in Vegas and all that. No, this is the real 850. Who's been rocking with us for forever. So you Google 850 Club, and we're all over Google. We took over. So, yeah. And, but either way, I had that type of situation going on. And so one of the questions that I just saw, what do you buy with this secure credit card? I always tell people, do not do the whole buying gas and buying groceries. Okay. And Will says he's never got his phone calls. Oh man, Will. Oh my God. Mondays are so tough. It's so tough. We try to squeeze everybody in. And I think that we just, and then you know what? we want to make sure that everybody is well taken care of. We never want anybody to feel rushed off the phone. And it's so difficult. I'm actually glad Will brought that up. It's actually kind of ties into this. When you think about credit, it's so difficult because you don't talk to people about your finances, right? You don't talk to people about your credit score unless it's like your spouse, your significant other, maybe a few like close friends, close family. But a lot of people don't know your own situation. So when people get a chance to talk to me or someone on the team, you just want to just let everything out. The problem is it's only so much time in a day. So just keep that in mind, guys, when you give us a call. Let's try to shorten it. We always want to be nice, but we gotta be, courteous to everybody else. If we say 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that, it most definitely goes that way. So, but we can most definitely help you guys, and we'll most definitely make sure you're the first call tomorrow morning. And you too, Janelle. So yeah, but that's the thing. Since you don't talk to a lot of people about it, we wanted to create a platform where it's so much more easier to learn something without being confused by certain things. So that's what I wanted to do tonight. I want to share with you guys how things work for me. Okay. So now, how long should you have a secured credit card before you have an unsecured? For me, I say anywhere between 2 to 3 months, maybe 3 to 4 months. You'll notice because your mail is going to start to change, right? You can always go by the mail and things of that sort. And I know for a fact that when people, when they listen to certain things or they see certain things, you got to make sure that it makes sense for you. A lot of times I've seen people, they'll say, hey, go get a secured credit card. And this person is getting unsecured credit card material in the mail, right? So that would be a waste of money. So everybody's situation is different. That's why you need to make sure that someone looks at your situation based on where you are right now. Don't just wing it. Just because it worked for your sister a certain way, just because it worked for your brother a certain way, just because it worked for your mom a certain way 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it's not going to work the same for you. Okay? Understand that. Everybody's credit is different. Remember that. Everybody's credit report is different. And so for me, I had so much negative stuff. It was ridiculous. Okay. He said, Gregory's like, listen, I'm gonna get this question answered. So he says, I'm asking, how long should you keep your secure card? Honestly, I would most definitely keep it. I was like, maybe it depends. Maybe I would say about a year or so, 6 months to a year. It's okay to close out accounts. Some of you guys that hold on to accounts far too long. I like to figure it like this. Your credit cards should keep up with your credit score. Does that make sense? So a lot of credit cards that you had, like it's okay to have like that first unsecured card that could have come after a secured card. It's okay to keep that unsecured maybe a little bit later after a secured card, and then that would be the one that I would keep for like a long time. Right? Sorry about that, Greg. So, but that's the thing. But I'm glad he brought that up because a lot of people ask that question because they use that secure card. They're like, man, how long should I keep it? And then you get these myths about, how long should I keep it open and things of that sort. And for those who don't know, a secure card is when you have to put down a deposit to start building credit. But listen, I say always try for unsecured first. It's okay. Always try for unsecured first, okay? If you close your account, then you lose your history. And that's a big myth. A lot of people think that. Not at all. Your history still stays on the credit report. You only lose your history for how long? 7 years after you close that account or the last activity if you leave a balance on there. So you got 7 years by that time. But we got clients that are going from, sorry, it got blurry. We got clients that went from low credit scores to higher credit scores, and within that time frame, a lot can happen in 7 years. Our clients are seeing 20 to 25 points a month on an average basis, okay? And that's the thing. And sure enough, see, there's a great example. Someone had, an open sky credit card and then got approved for an unsecured card. At that point, I'll probably hold on to that secured card for a very small, period of time. But then after that, I'm letting that thing go and I'm keeping that unsecured card. Why? So you can get your money back. Don't forget, that's your money. A lot of these companies, they noticed that people were closing these accounts, right? And so that's why they made that transition so they can go ahead and do that, okay? So, and I'm sorry, I know there's a couple different things. I have my gorgeous vice president watching everything, making sure we don't miss anybody. So, but that's what I did first. Got the secured credit card, right? And then I believe about 3 or 4 months later, I got an unsecured credit card. And then once I got the unsecured card, that's when I went ahead and I use it the same way. Again, I didn't do not do gas, do not do groceries. Why? Because everybody buys gas and groceries differently. And man, as a real estate agent, I've been filling up my tank almost like every 5 to 7 days. Okay, and so if somebody gave me that same advice, you're talking about I don't know, $200-300 a month. And if you got a brand new credit card, chances are the limit is what? $200-300, right? So you're maxing out a credit card just because somebody gave you that advice. So, and that's the thing. You want to make sure that if you're gonna have you wouldn't. Oh, you wouldn't close an unsecured. I mean, I will only. Again, a lot of this is great questions, guys. But don't forget to go back through the channel. All right, I'm not trying to be rude, but go back through the channel. A lot of it's over 200 videos. Y'all know I covered this stuff. So, but that's the thing. Look at that. My first credit card is now 26 years old. Man, that credit card is 4 years younger than me. So, but that's how you do it, guys. So, got the credit card secured. Then about 3-4 months later, got unsecured. Right. And by the way, we're going to do questions at the end if you guys are cool with that. Let's do some questions at the end, and I'll make sure I cover them all. Did that. Now, in between that, this is what a lot of people don't talk about. I'll start paying off debts. Okay. So I immediately, for example, we had a little bit of extra money. At the time, I was with a direct sales company. For those who don't know, I'll just, it's funny because I don't know if you guys remember Prepaid Legal or Legal Shield. I actually hold the record for the youngest bronze executive director in the Midwest. I don't know if anybody cares about that, but that, I don't know if you guys are, from Legal Shield or Prepaid, so it's good stuff back in the day. And, right. So either way, did that. And we took that money and we started paying down like a lot of our debts. Since we had the extra income, from the company, or it could be for you guys, it could be a job or it could be whatever. We took the extra money and then started paying down my student loan debt. We took the extra money, started paying, the evictions. It was only one eviction that was on there. But so student loans, the eviction that was on there, the charge off, we started paying this stuff down. I got tired of seeing it. See, back in the day, it wasn't about, just building a credit score. I got tired of, owing people money that I promised them I would pay. Now, I'm not trying to be moral here, but a lot of these banks, they're not going anywhere. Like when you start building relationships with, let's say Capital One, Chase, whatever, these same banks, they're still here. I say that to say, if you have a charge off with them, and whether it's on your report or not, they have a database. You're still in there as a person that didn't give a damn. Okay, so you got to look at things like that because they look at things like that because again, you're gonna need them later down the line. Okay, when you're looking for an auto loan or something like that, you're going to need these same banks. I'm not saying pay everybody, but if you can, I want to zero everybody out. That and again, I don't necessarily think it hurt my score. It helped my report. That's the difference. Just because you got something negative on your report and you don't want to pay it, and I get it. He's like, well, Calvin, I don't want to. It's not really going to do anything on my score itself, but at the same time, it looks good on your report. Some people meet the score criteria, right? You guys know this. You've tried to apply, for a credit card or something like that, and you got denied. But you knew your score was there, but then they said you had too many inquiries, or they said you had too many recent accounts. That's the credit report. So your score may be there, but then your report may get you denied. And I wanted to make sure that my report didn't get me denied. So I started paying stuff off. I wanted to make it look like if things were charged off or things were settled, at least I cared. It showed that I cared, which I don't know if banks take a deep look into that. But when you start getting into a mortgage, they start looking at a lot more different things. That's another thing you guys got to ask yourself. When you're getting this advice from people, are they homeowners? Do they have high credit card limits? Do they have does that matter to you guys? Okay. And again, I'm not saying you got to pay everybody. I'm just saying, does that matter to you, later down the line? Because if you plan on doing business with them. So that's how I look at it. Either way, did that. And then after, of course, I had the repossession too. Now, the repossession was with a major bank. I'm not going to say who it is. They're not coming after me no more. And so, but that's the thing. I had the repossession. And the only way that we could rebuild from that, my wife co-signed me together because we still needed a car, and so we made the payments on that, which helped my score as well. So did that, was paying on the auto loan, okay, and then that's the thing, paid on the auto loan for about two and a half years, 3 years, right, And then so during that entire time frame, I didn't even notice that my score had gone up dramatically. And I said to myself, okay, now I'm going to make sure that I take advantage of this new score. Because now you know you're getting all this stuff in the mail. By this time, my score was in the 700, but I didn't even know it. And then when I look back at my report, because it was a long period of time I didn't look at it. And then when I looked at it, I was like, you know what, man, people need to know this right away. Start doing webinars, put the stuff on YouTube. And sure enough, there's this guy, I forgot his name. His name was Donovan. Donovan probably still watching right now. So Donovan was one of the first people to actually call us from Michigan. And now people are looking at Donovan in Michigan. He was our first YouTube client. And that was about 550 something clients ago. So it's kind of crazy how that worked. So yeah, but either way, but yes. Okay. So let's go into the questions. That's pretty much how I did it. I did secure card. I got a unsecured card later down the line, and then paid some debts off to get a little better on my report. And then of course and I think that's the biggest thing. I got access to banks a lot faster. I think that kind of played a role, but that was just for me. And that was within all that happened within about less than 11 months. Now my clients are seeing results a little bit faster than that, because I found ways to kind of do the same thing, but now we know which banks and what time to do it, right? Because a lot of people, we kind of guinea pig, at the beginning, oh, that doesn't work, or this doesn't work a certain way. But that's what worked for me, is that going from the low 500s to a 710 in less than 11 months. But we didn't track it until we got to like the 600s, because it was like, okay, now we got to do something. How can we keep going a little bit further? Okay. And again, that was just my story, but there are people that are commenting that are clients with us that are seeing results a lot faster than that without a trade line. So there's nothing wrong with doing a trade line, but that's the thing. A lot of people are seeing these results without throwing thousands of dollars at stuff. I saw a credit report today. A guy had, and don't worry, I'm going to get to the questions in about 2 seconds. There was a guy who had about 8 credit cards and all these random stuff. He had My Jewelers, he had Geddington, he had everything that everybody's talking about out there, right? And trying to get to the 700s, and was so upset that he was not doing it, right? He was so upset that he was not doing it. And I told him, I said, listen, I had a client who went from a 480, and then he went to a 590, and then he went to a 660, and we got him approved for an $8,000 limit credit card. Insane. That's with 3 accounts. Because again, it's about the banks and the timing. This is 6 years of this stuff, guys. We've learned. We didn't make mistakes with no clients before. We just saw that things worked out a little bit better with different banks before, whatever, and just gave comparisons, but in between them. So it took me less than 11 months, but there are people that are seeing results like that, like within, in 6 months or less. That's what we always try to shoot for, 6 months or less. So that's how everything worked out for me. In between that time, my wife and I bought our first house at 25. It was a 2-unit building. And of course, the first building paid pretty much for the entire building, saved up our money and moved into another house, then moved somebody else into the top floor of the other home. And then so the credit score was still, doing great and things of that sort. And here we are now. And again, as I learn and as the company learns and as we grow, we want to make sure that everybody, has the most updated information and not just focused on the negatives. We need to stop just focusing on collection, all the rest of this stuff, because life really starts once you actually get that score. Technically, everybody's going to have great credit. If you do absolutely nothing for 7 years, eventually your score will do something, right? Because everything's going to fall off, right? But my point is that, are you ready for when that happens? All right. So let's go straight into the questions. All right. So now go. All right. So Jordan says, I need those results. I'm at a 669. Yeah, right. Listen, all you gotta do is keep watching the channel, or listen, Jordan, schedule a free credit report evaluation. I'm sure the link is in here somewhere. All right, so what we got? Yes, if you guys like this video, please like the video, share it as always. Okay, I need to buy a truck, 18-wheeler. I have a 768. Can you help with that? Oh, Perry, come on. We can help you get a truck yesterday, man. Shoot us an email, or let's do a free credit report evaluation. Let's help you get a high limit credit card as well too, Perry, okay? My girl just got a credit card from Navy Federal, $25,000 limit, and this is with a 680 credit score. Absolutely. Navy Federal, Penn Fed, they're doing like crazy credit card limits. But again, they're pretty sticklers about inquiries and stuff like that. And you got to have an account with them too. And but yeah, they give me like crazy credit card limits. So that's what he said. That's what I'm interested in, apartment, apartment, then build from there. Yeah, absolutely. So Rod, you can do that, and of course, make sure you guys schedule a free credit report evaluation so we can take a look and make sure you're there. It doesn't take a lot to get a home, guys. I know Chicago, like it's super crazy. They got like a loan. They got grants up to 15,000 in Chicago. It's insane. So, but they got grants everywhere. I think like the average grant per state is like 7 grand, 7,500, 8 grand. It depends on what certain neighborhoods. Let's see what else we got. I would never close my security cards. And that's another thing too, guys. You don't have to. It's just a matter of a lot of times, these companies are getting greedy. They just got like a lot of unnecessary fees. So you don't have to close certain cards. I just get tired of paying stuff. Like I know, man, I don't want to name drop. You guys know these people, they charge you membership fees. That's $15, $8 a month if you don't use the credit card, all type of crazy stuff. So let's see here. New York is so high. Yeah, I know. I got another client. She's in California, and she was like, "Man, how are you able to just get into real estate like that? Well, I'm sorry, to buy a building. Let me tell you something. In Chicago, you could buy a 2-unit building for 150. All right, and then your 1 unit. It's a 2-unit building. 1 unit can cover your entire building. It's insane. It's like we're so lucky, but people don't see that. Like, because I gotta do a video on that. Like, we gotta start doing like how to maximize based on where you live, right? Because in Chicago is extremely large, and people are just steady making excuses. But I'm telling you, we got 2 people pre-approved today, so we acted a fool out here in Illinois. So I got 9 credit cards with a 6% utilization. That's not bad. You can have as many credit cards you want as long as that utilization is as low as Deborah's. Okay, keep that utilization down. Let's see here, unions. That's right. So let's see. I'm trying to buy a house and I need my score will not move. I need you to help me, Janelle. Come on, now we do a free credit report evaluation. I tell you what, send us a thing. Go to the link tonight, and then we'll make sure we try to get to everybody tomorrow. Tuesdays are a lot easier. Just so you guys know, Mondays and Fridays are the busiest days we have. The busiest. Because all the stuff from the weekend and all the rest of that stuff, if we don't get to you, I promise you, it's nothing personal. Like we just couldn't. And we have people that's been waiting. So if another thing too, our paid clients, we're booked a week in advance. So we try to squeeze everything in between that. But we got a new team member joining us in about a couple weeks here. So get ready for that. Let's see what else we got. Okay. I need an SUV and my first home. Can I help you? Come on, Jordan. That's easy. You know what? I did not post a video up yet of the client success stories from last month. Man, it's so many. So I'll probably post that tonight. But no, you guys can have this. I'll give you guys another one tomorrow. All right, so let's see here. I disputed an account that was a charge off. Now they're in collection. See? Let me tell you guys something. Miss Thomas just brought something up. This is what happens when you guys dispute these charge offs. Now, not every charge off turns into a collection, but if a charge off, if they're not bothering you, why would you bother them? Listen, we know we owe the money. We know we do. We just get tired of looking at it, right? These repossessions, these charge offs, right? They could turn into collections. I'm telling you, you're poking a line with a stick. Dispute does not mean delete. Again, dispute does not mean delete. What does that mean? That means that when you send these letters to the credit bureaus, they send it to the creditor. They have to respond. If they do not respond, what does responding mean? Responding means they got to look up your account. When they look up your account or whatever they do, even if they don't look it up within that 30-day period, you have now just pretty much awoken the giant, right? I don't care what anybody says. They have to either respond or not respond, right? So a lot of times we end up poking a lion with a stick and we end up bothering something that doesn't need to be bothered, only just to get it off the report. Now, if it's a collection, it's already at its worst point. But if it can get worse, charge-offs can get worse, which is a charge-off going into a collection. But if it's already a collection, it's at its worst point. There's nothing wrong with disputing at that point, right? Because it's at the worst. It can't get any worse than that. Now, at the same token, but again, I know you guys get tired of looking at stuff. Again, we've become masters at 850 Club of building around negative items. We tell all of our clients, some things come off, some things don't. And we're not going to beat our heads against the wall trying to make this thing happen because we've seen people, wage garnishment, all the rest of this stuff. Some companies are not playing with you. They're not. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, we have become masters at building around stuff. We got clients that got bankruptcies, evictions, repossessions. They're in the 700s. They're not, and they're getting treated like they're in the 700s. Banks don't care about negative items. They care about what you do after a negative item. Nobody else is going to tell you that. Everyone's going to tell you, oh, write this letter, do this, and put a little sauce on it. Oh, man. Listen, I'm telling you, I had an unpaid $6,000 repossession from a major bank. Major bank. That repossession was on my credit report. Still bought our house at 25. Still did it. Okay. And that was in the 600s before when we bought that house. Okay. So listen to what I'm saying. They don't care about certain things. You guys got to get better at building around negative items. You spend so much money. I've seen people do it. I saw this one girl. She was trying to buy a car, and she had $3,000 in like just all type of negative stuff. But she said she had $6,000 down. That's impossible. You just showed the banks you didn't care about the other $3,000 you owed somebody, but you got $6,000 down. That you got to think. Yeah, this is how to, and this is you asking the bank for money. They say, listen, yeah, I owe them, but I'm gonna pay you. You got to think about this type of stuff. So either way, I don't want to get hung up on this. Let's see what else. Let's see what else we got. I'm paying my credit cards down, but the score would not move. Janelle, we need to do more than that. It's more than just credit cards. But either way, schedule a free credit report evaluation. No, we got you. I have to pay a processing fee and annual fees. Yeah, with them secure credit cards, but not every secure credit cards do that. I have 5 cards utilization 0 to 7. That's good. Went from 465, 723. Everything unlocked for me. Got a credit wise. My cards at 3%. That's phenomenal. Do those 609 dispute letters work? They do, if it has the right information in there, and if you send it off right. We do have a dispute letter package as well too, okay, guys? And it's pretty cheap. It's like $25, and it goes 6 rounds for most things, okay? My lowest credit score is 675, 681. These are all over scores. Trying to get a good card unsecured. Darren, if you don't send us an email, we can help with you that, man. I want to get into rental properties and real estate investing, so I'll be emailing you soon. That's good. Yeah, we got some good stuff for you. We're coming out with a real estate like course too, like nothing too heavy, but just so you guys can kind of get into it, because we think that people need to understand buying a building, finding the right building, finding the right tenants, all that type of stuff. So if you guys want to do something like that, we can. Send me the link. Now, the link is most definitely up in there. All right, so can you help with getting a 10-unit multi? Oh yeah, you can buy whatever you want. Here's the deal. When you guys start going into like 3 units and beyond, the banks want more income, and they want you to come to the table with a nice down payment. And you got to have reserves, at least 3 months of reserves in your account. So these people that's buying these 10-unit buildings, 8 units and stuff like that, they come with cash to the table. It's a different ball game. And you got to have 10 to 20% down in most cases, especially if you're not going to live in the building. Let's see. SUV is easy to get. You know it. Sprint, Midland, and Finger. You know it. Let's see. If I close my open sky, will it affect my score? You can keep it. I mean, it's not really a big deal. It's really I just close secure cards to get my money back. Honestly, you guys have forgotten. Secure cards have one job only. A secured credit card, it has one job. What is that job? To help you qualify for an unsecured card. That's it. Once that's done, I'm talking maybe 6 months total. I'll hold on to it. Honestly, it has no purpose anymore. You can't get a credit limit increase. You're not getting any cash back. You're not getting anything. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying this is the things that I was thinking about. I said, man, why do I still have this open? So, but again, it's up to you. All right. So, how long should I wait before I refinance my car? Just got it in July of 2016. I would try ASAP. I mean, to refinance your car, I did a video on that. Go to autorefi.capitalone.com. It may be a little bit too soon. It's only been a couple months. Usually you can refinance within 6 to 12 months. Is it good or bad for your credit if you get a personal loan? Depends. A personal loan from a bank or credit union is fine. But when you start going to like these other sites, Avance, Prosper, Payoff, Lending Club, those are what you call consumer finance loans. And consumer finance loans, it's okay to have them, but if you Google consumer finance loans, FICO, FICO actually does not like too many consumer finance loans because they feel like you have financial issues if you're getting too many of them. I'd say like one a year, they probably wouldn't care about. But if you start doing like more than one a year or something like that, they feel like you need them to live. But a personal loan is not bad because I get a lot of clients, they want debt consolidation or whatever the case may be, credit card consolidation, a lot of different things. So there's nothing wrong with it. You just want to just make sure, I would say no more than one, but you don't need it to build credit though. Let's see here. Okay, he would get with us tomorrow. Okay, thanks, Perry. We'll see about it. For motor credit, don't play. You better listen. You can't be late with nobody. Put a little sauce on it. That's right. Y'all still watching old. I keep forgetting. There's people watching some old stuff I said. I would stop. Yeah, listen. Stop stressing. Listen. Don't stress about charge-offs, man. Listen, banks. I'm telling you, don't stress about it. Y'all gonna, because y'all keep writing these letters. Y'all are, let me tell you something. You guys are saying the same things everybody is saying. Don't you think about that? I mean, and I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying, when you guys are sending letters, everyone's saying the same thing they've been saying for like the past 5 to 10 years. This is not my account. My identity was stolen. It was a fraud alert. It was all this stuff. Whoever it wasn't me. Perfect. A couple months later, you could apply for a credit card. Who is it now? Right. The good side is you. And I'm not, and don't get me wrong, there are times where bad things do happen, but at the same time, we make it more difficult for when things actually, get really bad for a lot of people. You guys get what I'm saying? So I just want to just put that out there. Again, don't stress about this stuff, guys. It's too easy to build around it. I work for Ford Motor Company. Ford don't play about garnishment, child support. Yeah, I'm telling you. See, he already knows. Is it okay to get a car with a high interest rate and refinance later? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with it at all. That's the whole point of refinancing. The problem is you guys get cars that don't qualify for a refinance. I did a video on that. They got to be 5 years old or newer. I live in Georgia. I saw a house that's been empty for 5 years. My score is a 643. Not only do you qualify for that house, but you got to make sure that the house qualifies for the type of loan that you can get approved for. Also, too, there is, for those who don't know, there's, if you're in Georgia, I learned this the other day, there's something called the Georgia Dream, and you can get a certain amount of money, a certain grant towards, you buying a home. So look more into that. I got a couple of real estate agents out there in Georgia, so shoot us an email. Let's see here. Is it financially possible to get into an investment property and a house for my family at the same time? Technically, you can. And yeah, it's financially possible. You got to do it in time. FHA lets you go up to 4 units. Okay. You can only have one FHA per social. Okay. So it's easier to buy the multi-unit first because the down payment is smaller at 3.5% versus the second home, whether you go with another investment property or a single family home, right? Then you're going to have to put down 10 to 20%. If you live in it, you may qualify for 3 or 5%, depending on who your lender is, what your credit score is. Another thing too, when you go conventional is mainly based on credit score alone. Versus FHA, you're going to get close to what they call the market rate or the standard rate at a 620 credit score. Okay, so a few more. Listen, when I do videos on houses, y'all don't be that excited about it. I'm telling you, y'all need to start getting assets. So, can a charge off with a balance be deleted? Charge offs can be deleted, but don't forget, charge offs can come back. And charge-offs can also turn into a collection, okay? So just understand that risk when you guys are doing that type of stuff. Listen, Santander don't play. I'll just Prestige don't play. A lot of the big banks, they can take a hit like that. But these smaller banks, they cannot take a hit like that. That's why they come after you guys, especially if y'all disputing it. But come on now. A dispute gives them your updated address, telephone number, if you got that on the letter, email address, all type of stuff. How does business credit with no personal guarantee works? We got to, man, here's the deal. For those who don't know, we were starting to get more involved into business credit. But honestly, the real estate side of 850 has just been going insane. And we just haven't had time. So I apologize, Will. We got to check back with you on that one. Have I ever heard of NACA? I most definitely have. The only thing I don't like about NACA is that it takes too long. And honestly, they want a higher credit score. Like they want you to have your finances in order before you buy a house. I get that. But a lot of times it's real simple. How much you paying for rent? $1,100? Okay, cool. Can you handle it? Yeah, perfect. That's how it is. NACA says, no, fam, what do you have saved? What do you have in your checkings? What do you have in this? Which is fine. I get that. They want to make sure you're well for home ownership. But at the same time, going through their program, you'll mess around and miss some houses going through that type of program, okay? But don't forget, standard FHA and just normal grant programs in your state is good enough. I promise you, it's good enough. Let's see here. My wife and I have an appointment with us on Thursday. Oh man, get ready. That's what I'm gonna do. Close that secure card, get my money back. Man, yeah, that's all we're supposed to do. How about self-lender? Self-lender's great. Yep, self-lender's great. Make sure you don't apply for the wrong thing. They got a couple other products too. Hey Calvin, are you expensive? He says, hey, are you expensive to get me where I need to be? No, man. Trust me, we're not expensive. I have 3 personal loans. Deborah, you got good. First off, Deborah's got a good credit score. See, Deborah comments so much on so many of my videos. Y'all don't be seeing what she's talking about. Deborah got good credit, okay? So Deborah, of course, she can do almost whatever she want to do because her credit is very good, okay? Just keep that in mind. I'm definitely going to close my Open Sky and Premier Secure card. Oh my God, please don't get Primer. I forgot. Yeah, please. Yes. Here's the deal. If you guys have a credit card with a company that cannot give you a personal loan, it's time to let that thing go. Do you know if an eviction doesn't appear in your credit report. Let's see here. Ooh, this laptop is about to die out. I do apologize, guys. I do not have the adapter, so you may have to watch the rest of this on YouTube. It's not looking good, but I'll let it sit till it die out. So let me see what else we got. Do you know if there's if an eviction doesn't appear in your credit report, will it come back on a background check? Absolutely. Rental history, CoreLogic, LexisNexis. There's stuff that we don't have access to as consumers. They feel that the credit bureau industry is so loose because people are just disputing things are coming off. They said something has to have a truth system. It's amazing because the banks they most definitely don't go by no truth system. So yeah, it's going to be on your rental history, but it's not that big of a deal. People go score first before anything. Okay. Okay, cool. Jordan says, I get it. Is that for low income only in Georgia? No, that is not for low income. There are income requirements. I think normally for income requirements is usually for one person. For a one-person household is normally 60,000. For a two-person household is probably 100,000. So I'll get you hooked up with some of my lenders and some of my real estate agents out there in Georgia. Have I ever heard of NACA? Oh, already talked about that. So what about a Delaware for first-time home buyer? Jordan, we can work on that. You'll be one of our first Delaware clients. Okay. No, we got another someone else in Delaware, but as far as a home buyer for sure. Right, we're doing FHA. You better believe it. Let's see here. Yeah, thanks. I'll send you an email. Please do. Yeah, see, somebody said Santana for sure don't play. I'm telling you. So they will come and get that money. What type of real estate do you have in Washington, D.C. area? I don't necessarily have real estate in D.C., but I do have real estate agents through my Keller Williams network in Washington, D.C. And I always try to find people, great agents that are good for what you're looking for. What's your take on nationwide finance? Is that the one that's like similar to? I think that's the one that's similar to like My Jewelers Club and all that. It's up to you. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's throwing Jello at stuff. You can get that same result from somewhere else. What's again the score to get a Platinum American Express? A Platinum American Express, I think it's gonna be based on other credit cards you've had in the past. I would say at least about a 720 or 750. You don't have to have a phenomenal credit score. American Express likes history. They just like good history. What if you have a judgment shown on your report and can you still buy a home? Absolutely. They may make you get on a payment plan, but it all depends on what lender we get you qualified for. Thank you for you and your wife being so helpful. Absolutely. How much income do you need for a six-figure student loan debt? Jesus. So honestly, you just need a plan. You need extra income. You need a rental property. You need something where that's coming in without you going to work for it. Then you just start throwing that extra money at it. You start throwing something at $1,000 a month, you'll be done in what's that, 10 years? Do you need a down payment with on a home with a 720 credit score? The credit score doesn't necessarily matter. You need skin in the game. A bank will not give you 100% loan unless you have a VA loan. Even then, you still got to pay for an appraisal and an inspection. This is it, guys. I'm done. So either way, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been 40-something minutes. Hope it was good. We're going live again next Monday. Get ready. Hope I was helpful. And we got nothing but great content on the way. Be sure to like this video, share it, and be sure to subscribe as well. It's time for me to tuck my son in. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys on the next video.